Welcome back, everybody, to Quake Pro League Week 7. I am 40 Lines, joined by ZSX. And we got a bit of a banger coming up here, Dan. We talked a little bit about it. We got DaHanG and cha1n, and we were discussing cha1n. And it seems like, as you mentioned, he's kind of found a formula that worked in the past, and he hasn't really evolved, and he's been suffering because of it.
Yeah, and it's probably not the case, but it feels like he hasn't changed the playstyle since his amazing performance back in Stage 2 finals last year in Poland. It's been more or less the same ever since then, and it's been good enough to keep him consistently in top 3, top 4. But again, knowing someone like cha1n, that's not going to be good enough for where he wants to be. And so definitely needs to see a revolution or an improvement in the playstyle for cha1n to take that next step forward. Because we were talking about him back then of being, can he be replacing Rafa? Can he solidify that top 2 spot where he earned it all the way back? And the answer has been no. So would love to see him develop it more. And on the flip side, DaHanG has some ups and downs, and it feels like he's definitely on a bit of an upward trend now, back to the old form we saw him quite a while ago.
Yeah, DaHanG usually pretty solid. We saw him come off a victory against Sib last week, dropping a map, which a lot of people were surprised by, but DaHanG still taking the series overall 2-1, looking pretty solid, getting the job done, and I feel like it's, as usual, a matter of ramping up at the right time as we get closer and closer to finals, because DaHanG, even when he drops off, he's not that far off from, just being in the top 4 consistently, at least on the Americas side.
I mean, top 4 is a bit of an understatement. He's still generally top 2.
I'm just saying, Maxter and Nosfa, and there's a couple other players that are starting to contest for that top 4. That's why.
Yeah, NA is competitive now after a while.
It's the Americas, Stan, okay? It's the Americas. Nosfa and Maxter are livid in the chat right now because you keep saying NA.
No, Brexit and everything else, I don't really care. It's just NA for me.
It's all just over here. We just like deep-fried mayonnaise, whatever's over here across the pond. They eat deep-fried everything down there. I do anyway. But, yeah, DaHanG and cha1n, I think we can get into the pick bans and maybe see a better picture of exactly what's going to happen for us. Exile, Awoken, Ruins. Dan, why don't you do me the honor of running through the picks for us?
Sure thing, 40. We are opening up on Exile, first one of the day. It's only second series, but DaHanG is one of these people that has specialized the map now. cha1n working out the Ranger, already safe pick, where we have DaHanG on the Sorlag. So going to see a nice fast play from DaHanG, and the question is always, how does cha1n play around that? And we know cha1n loves to play positional, loves to play around the rail, doesn't often concentrate too much on the items, or at least controlling both. So that can be a bit of a challenge on Exile if you just let the Sorlag have free reign. Moving on to Awoken, we see Athena from cha1n. Again, love to watch an Athena, and cha1n does play it exceptionally well. Doom, most standard of picks, and can have a bit of problems with Athena, if I'm honest. Becomes very vulnerable with the grapple of Athena and the repositioning, particularly if cha1n starts connecting with rails. And that's always going to be the question mark when we watch a series with cha1n, is how much is he hitting? Because if he hits a lot, he's scary. If he doesn't hit a lot, he's all right. And then lastly, ending on Ruins, we know cha1n loves the fast champions, and he picks the Anarchy straight up. Again, lovely pick for Ruins, and it's good to see Anarchy much more back in the meta nowadays. And Galena, lovely safe pick on Ruins, particularly if you can play around that heavy.
And in terms of predictions, taking a quick peek here, it looks like 95% in favor of DaHanG, at least on Exile. Specifically that matchup, Sorlag versus Ranger. I mean, do you agree with that? That's pretty bonkers in favor of DaHanG. I'm not sure if that's just the matchup or just people believing in the accountant.
I think it's pretty bonkers to be that one-sided, but at the same time, it's probably more of a reflection of how these two have both been performing. I think cha1n has been struggling as of late, hasn't been as dominating as we've seen, as I mentioned before. It does feel like we're seeing the better side of DaHanG in a lot of these series recently. I don't think it's that one-sided, but I also would go for a 3-0 DaHanG.
Well, I mean, most importantly on Exile specifically, we just want to see how many souls Sync Error will take. Whether or not the map goes either way, I don't really know. I would say if I had to, I'd probably give it at least 2-1 to DaHanG. I feel like cha1n has what it takes to maybe steal a map off of DaHanG. Whether or not that happens, I have no idea, Dan. I just work here, I just work here. I just show up so I don't get fined.
You just feel dead air. That's absolutely fine. But I mean,
I can't feel my dead soul, and that's what really hurts the most. Anyways, what you're saying?
I was saying, on Champions alone, I don't think there's too much difference between the two. I favor the Sorlag on Exile. I actually favor the Athena if played well on Awoken, although Doom, there isn't too much between it, but an exceptional Athena should be a Doom. And then Ruins, it definitely comes down to execution. I like the Anarchy, but the Galena is just so strong when played well. But at the same time, if you do let Anarchy get ahead of steam, and he does get a big stack and the overstack and works the inject well, just the speed the Anarchy brings out can be a lot of trouble for Athena, who lacks any sort of mobility. So it is fairly even in my mind across the board. It comes down to execution now.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to cha1n's Athena. You mentioned it before, and the mobility is absolutely absurd. So on Awoken, I feel like there are a lot of kind of tricky hooks that you can do to gain just insane speed to get to the items, and also just escape. I mean, the heavy pit is kind of a cesspool. If you get stuck out there, you have to rocket jump out, but Athena has the hooks to get out of there. So that'll aid in maybe getting in and out and stealing some items from DaHanG, depending on the situation and how they start. But overall, I think this one should be good. cha1n, again, maybe not on the top form that we're used to seeing. Hasn't really evolved a lot, maybe. Whether it's not, whether it's a question of him not evolving or maybe everyone else just evolving faster, yet to be seen. I mean, we're only 7 weeks in, but hopefully you see him kind of rank 7. Granted, some other players have more maps under their belt, so that plays into the overall ranking as well. But you really want to see, if you're a cha1n fan, at least a map and maybe even an upset against DaHanG, which isn't going to be easy, but he's done it before. cha1n is no stranger to taking sets from DaHanG, so it's a kind of a return to form that you would want to see as a cha1n fan. And then if you're on DaHanG's side, you just want to see him audit accordingly and just kind of put W's on the board.
Yeah, I think for me the big transition cha1n needs to make is to be less rail reliant. Like he picks up some crazy good angles with his rail. He's super smart when he plays around that weapon, and if he's connecting, as I said, he becomes very scary. But also on the flip side, I don't feel he capitalizes upon his advantage enough when he's using it, and he can give his opponents get out of jail free cards if he begins to miss, because then you just scoot onto an item and get away. So it's finding that balance to become more imposing and take maps away. Whereas DaHanG, and this is why this matchup's really interesting actually, has a completely contrasting playstyle. He'll be much more focused on pressuring items, playing quick and getting in your face, and has a more versatile weaponry. But both of these players, in my mind anyway, can, more than others, suffer with the inconsistency of their aim, and so it can be defining, but less so for DaHanG because he is just so damn solid in working the map, and obviously has a lot more experience at this level to play around it if he's not hitting as well. So there is definitely things for cha1n to work on, but because of that more cultured playstyle from DaHanG, that's why I just have a bit more confidence in him when I watch him.
I think that's a valid point. We're working on some technical difficulties that I think we've smoothed over, so we should be getting into map number 1 shortly. Sorry for the delay. It's all my fault. You can blame it all on me, chat. But yeah, getting into this one, Exile's going to be the starter. Again, looking forward to how many souls Sync can take and whether or not DaHanG or cha1n will be able to establish the advantage in this series. I think if cha1n can come out swinging on Exile and take that first map, that's going to be huge for the confidence moving forward. And I think there's higher likelihood of him being able to take the series. I think if he goes down one map, it might be a little bit more rough, and it might be more of a 3-0 for DaHanG.
Yep, but nobody cares what you think, Swarty. They only care what happens.
Neither do I.
Oh, I love it. You're such a simpleton. You only care about the simple things in life.
Just cheesecake and a dream.
Cheesecake and how many souls Sinclair can take. That's about it.
That's it. Yeah, that's a simple, man. It makes my life a lot easier. But we are in map number 1. I've heard the sound. Chad, thank you for being patient. If you weren't, thank you anyway, because you didn't have a choice. I love it. So Exile is going to be the first map, Sorlag versus Ranger. We are live here shortly with DaHanG and cha1n. Second set of the day for Week 7 Quake Pro League action.
And we're finally into it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Starting over on DaHanG on the Sorlag, looking good already. Picking up the heavy, running on the map, but already finding his opponent. Big damage coming out. The orb just to get away, coming out from cha1n, and that already stings. Picks up the weapon, but look at him. He's stuck down there with the rail. Is he going to get out? The question is probably, but he's probably also going to die in doing so. The question is how much damage can he do? And it's a fair amount.
Not bad damage, but DaHanG will be able to capitalize, get that frag, and just casually make his way back to the Mega as if nothing happened here. Heavy does go to cha1n. No Dire Orb, and that might be a huge problem as that jump rail just missing for DaHanG. But cha1n wants to take this fight. There's the LG, and there's the Dire Orb. A little bit of misdirection. I don't think it's going to be enough to get the frag, and DaHanG might be able to take this, but missing with that rocket. Now it's all a matter of predicting where cha1n is going to go with this. There's the spit, closing him off. The rocket's just not landing. cha1n somehow might be able to turn this around, and he does!
Again, just an example of oh no, he misses the jump and does tick down. So, you know, the plan works with DaHanG anyway. I was about to say, I really enjoy the way DaHanG is almost baiting that rail trap and just allowing cha1n to pick it up, and in retaliation, just trapping him down there. Didn't work out, but look at this. Once again, the speed of the Sarnath is there to trap cha1n. Easy 3-0 start.
Oh, baby, what a start indeed. Here's the Rockets on point. The second one not as much. The LG in the corner, making him float 4-0, and a blink of an eye, DaHanG firmly in the lead.
Absolutely, and whilst there are some really great rail angles on this map, there's also ways to work around your opponent's rail-heavy game. And with a Sarnath, if you miss a single rail, he's going to be in your face, just like this. Once again, cha1n traps in the corner. Try and play around that rail, but it's just not working. 5-0, minute and a half, nearly 2 minutes in. Yikes.
Yeah, this is a rough start for cha1n here. He needs to stop the bleeding and maybe, if he wants to keep playing the rail game, just take longer angles. But as you mentioned, you miss one and Sorbet is just on you, which a lot of people would pay good money for. 5-0 rails raging from both players, but not landing. Rockets coming out. cha1n actually fancy footwork, making his way onto the Mega, but then he goes down.
Oh my gosh.
Takes another soul.
It's like he's throwing. Just slow motion drop to his death, and there's another one. And another one. Oh. This is not a good start for cha1n. I mean, there's definitely comeback material here, but it's going to be tough going up against DaHanG on a Sarnath. 7 frags. The difference. What could you say? He's barely even touched an item.
This is just brutal. Yeah, he's got 2 items. 1 Mega, 1 Heavy. What?
Oh dear God. This game is a clown fiesta. And cha1n gets an item. Allowed by DaHanG this time.
I'll say it, Dan, because I don't care. I love this map. This is a fantastic map because you have to watch out for everything. Your opponent, the pits, it's the best. 6-1, DaHanG still firmly in the lead. A little bit of rocket splash to the Mega, but no big deal for cha1n as he finally gets in on another item. It's just starting to build the item control. 2 apiece now, Heavy and Mega. But DaHanG just has the speed, he has the stack, he has the rockets, and I don't think this is going to be a big problem yet for DaHanG.
No, cha1n's definitely counting his blessings that DaHanG threw away a full stack and now the whole map. So the question is, let's see how he can put the pressure on. He's got all the items he needs and position up on his high ground. He just needs to start connecting, finding his opponent, but DaHanG's working well on the low ground, pressuring up onto this Mega, something cha1n wasn't able to do. Great rocket out of the TP though. Can DaHanG get away? The orb comes out to cut off the angle. He's done good. DaHanG's done a little bit of damage, but not enough for cha1n. And here we go, the comeback begins.
Really nice rail there, 6-0. cha1n saying, you know what, new game. 4 minutes, 24 seconds in. Let's start anew. Here's the LG on LG again from cha1n, pressuring as DaHanG will casually step away here. Goes through the telly, big rocket, just barely dodging the second one. DaHanG needs to be careful not to aggress through the LG here. Is another Mega for cha1n, doing a really, really good job of stringing together these items and keeping damage output high.
He is. DaHanG's done a decent job of keeping pressure on, but this time he has to let the Heavy go for free because cha1n's done lots of damage. He's come out the TP and melts his opponent. He's going to tick down a fair amount here as there's no health bubbles anywhere near. Nearly 30-40 damage at least. Now he's probably lost out on the Mega as well, so good read by DaHanG to recognize how much damage he did do in that engagement. But no, the orb comes out, catching him from behind. DaHanG has a lightning gun, he's done a lot of damage actually. cha1n misses with the rail. DaHanG wants to finish Dimos desperately. Is this a push too far though? I think he recognizes he is and doubles back over towards his Heavy. Good rail by cha1n.
cha1n doing really, really well there. Just being a pest and making sure to stay alive. DaHanG opting for the item instead, wants to maintain control, and even then, cha1n gets to the right angle to at least get a rail off on the item. So cha1n really has turned this around. Still down by 5, but looking a lot stronger here. See, one more, and DaHanG is going to be the one that plants him with a rail of his own and wins out on the Mega. Almost getting another one there, DaHanG, as cha1n goes flying past the screen. 7-1, DaHanG up 6. Has position here. Is he going to see the barrel of the gun? Barely misses with the flick. Unfortunate for DaHanG. No item up for 8 seconds. DaHanG taking the long route here. Looks like he's going to opt to maybe just do damage on the Mega. Ooh, big rocket! 2 big rockets from cha1n. So much damage. 49 HP! And DaHanG almost gets pushed off the map. cha1n really laying it on thick now.
Yeah, but DaHanG did get away. He might even be able to get one of the major items. His cha1n is delayed, trying to find his opponent. He does do so. So all of that work down the drain is now, they are on evil footing. And so great job by DaHanG to get around the map and also delay. Look how much time is going. Nearly 3 minutes to go. Good pressure coming out. cha1n connected with nothing. But he feels necessary to go forward. And that was not the play. And unfortunately, DaHanG now extends his lead to 7.
And you could tell the frustration there from cha1n as that did not go how he wanted it to. A little bit of rocket damage there, missing with the rail. DaHanG still firmly in position to get this Mega for free as cha1n will opt for the heavy. And time is a ticking, Dan. Less than 3 minutes for 7 frags against a sore lag.
Yeah, it's not a position you want to be in as a cha1n fan at this point. Looking slim at best. I mean, he's on 1, but he must have 3 or 4 frags, the amount of his suicides we've seen in this map so far. Gonna push in, he needs to be aggressive here. He doesn't really do much at all. Once again, items on the same timing. So that definitely suits DaHanG at this point, as he could just plus back, play defensive, and fall back onto a major item for free, which he does do. All in all though, cha1n's actually now had even control given that terrible start, but you can see he's struggling to locate and do any sort of damage, meaningful damage to DaHanG in these engagements, and he will just go down once again trying to do anything, and it will be GG.
Yeah, just stuck in this position where now he has to take just insane chance fights. Not going his way. DaHanG too good on the mechanics, too good on the items. He just barely misses out on that heavy, but he'll take the frag instead. Up 9, less than 2 minutes, and after a rough start from cha1n, like you mentioned, decent comeback. I mean, looking at the scoreboard, you'd say comeback. What does that even mean? He was down by more than this. So the attempt was there, but I think the start was just too much to overcome for cha1n.
They've already said GG's, so we'll just spend the next minute and a half chilling. But yeah, the start was terrible. It could have been a lot worse if not for the slip mid-map on DaHanG's side, throwing away a whole stack of map control. Luckily, cha1n did stabilize because of that error. But again, you can see the scoreboard. Control pretty much even. Damage way in favor of DaHanG. He just did a much more effective job on the defense of avoiding damage and taking preferable fights. So really well played from DaHanG. And again, you just see the experience shining through and the struggles that cha1n has. If his rail isn't connecting, which it wasn't, he didn't have an answer to try and lock down DaHanG in this map.
I like that dire orb. As cha1n just taking a minute to reflect on kind of what happened. And DaHanG getting another frag, because why not? 12-1, 30 seconds left, and moving into map number 2, it's going to be Awoken. It's going to be that Doom versus Athena matchup that we talked about. High mobility on both players. And you just, hope for a better start.
Yes, and you're going to need one on the Athena. If Doom gets full control and manages to get the split on the items, someone like DaHanG can snowball heavily. But at the same time, if Athena does stabilize and Doom doesn't get that, then the mobility definitely comes into play, because you can just work rings around that Doom. And it becomes very frustrating because you have, you got a double jump, but that's literally all you have. How are you going to catch a Athena who's flying around the map with a grapple? It becomes hard.
Yeah, maybe a body block, maybe a berserk. I mean, we've seen it few and far between, but there have been some fisticuffs, Dan. We'll see if they come out on map number 2. But DaHanG puts the first map in his pocket in this set. I feel like mental reset chain just threw that one away and just says, you know what, that didn't even happen. Who cares? I still have 2 maps that I could potentially take to take
Yeah.
the series, but just a rough start. And credit to DaHanG, with a great start, taking advantage of everything that happened, be it Sync taking souls or just what have you. But puts one on the board. But I think chain just needs to say, you know what, whatever. This is a best of 2 because that map did not, nothing went right. It feels like.
Yeah, no, it didn't. And you could see moments of frustration there where Chain did this and just, stood still, accepted his fate, GG'd out early. It wasn't his game, but that first 2 minutes was nigh on perfect from DaHanG from a strategy point of view and execution point of view. He knew how Chain wanted to play. He was reading him like a book in terms of his movements around the map, trapping him consistently, and that's why we saw that 7-1 after 2 minutes, 3 minutes. There's at this level against DaHanG, like, you say GG then, because you're not coming back unless you pull out an absolute miracle. So really well played by DaHanG. But on the flip side, as you said, you cannot let yourself get in that type of situation. You can't be 8 frags down after 2 minutes.
Yeah, just impossible. Absolutely impossible to come back from. 12-1, the final score for DaHanG. As we get ready for map number 2, Awoken again. Doomslayer versus Athena. Should be high-flying action. We will see exactly who can establish control first and early. Both champs have the ability to maybe swipe items. It really depends on how it starts. I could see a world where DaHanG maybe tries to bait an item and Chain just flies in there with the hook, steals both. Could make for an interesting start. Might be a little bit more measured, but I mean, at this point, Chain may start thinking, yeah, I got really nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe test DaHanG early, see if he's ready for that aggression. We'll see. We'll see. I'd love to see exactly how that goes. I'm going to take a quick peek at the predictions, Dan, and it looks like firmly in favor of DaHanG, 89 to 11%.
I agree with that. I think from what we saw last map, I would also favor DaHanG. I think Athena has the X factor where it can pull it out. And as we said before, if Chain does start connecting the rails, it becomes scary. I think a critical strategical point about playing against a light is taking away the light armors. It's all well and good, the major items, but if you don't get the light armors as a light champion, you are so weak. So something to watch out for.
Bit of a slow start here, a little bit of rocket damage in the T-Con from DaHanG. Both players want that positioning here as Mega's going to be the first item up, and DaHanG succeeds in maintaining this position, but again with Athena and the hooks, she could just dive right in. That's a really good rail there from Chain, making sure that the Mega's not free, and he wins himself on the heavy. No contest from DaHanG, almost through the murder hole. A little bit of a rail.
Remember, this is Chain's pick as well, and we've seen him in the past pull out some wonderful performances here. Generally not high scoring, and playing an Athena, that favors you to play a bit more conservative. Again, DaHanG, though, more than experienced enough to alter his playstyle around the tempo that Chain is playing. And if he does get a couple of back-to-back items and manage to put the split on, which he's doing here, you can see the delay already coming out. He's confident in his approach play for the next round of items.
Oh. Big defensive rocket! DaHanG takes out DaHanG! What happened?
Then it could be scary. Chain now looking good. Now we've got 7 seconds between the two, so Chain gonna take up the fight over by the Mega here, but he's not really connecting. Just gets the item in time, but so incredibly weak. Not the cleanest of fights from the Athena, but just did enough to pick up the lead.
Exactly what Chain needed here. Good LGs. DaHanG barely able to clip the ledge and not fall back down. That could have been curtains. Chain a little bit weak. DaHanG looking for some sort of damage here. Wants a rail real bad. Has to be careful. Nice little shoulder peek. Trying to close out with LG, but instead will drop down. Oh, is it going to be the rail? 16 HP. DaHanG does get out on the Mega. This should be a frag if he can find him. Chain trying to hook out of there, but the machine gun takes him down. Just gets caught out.
Did a good lick of damage before he died though, so you can see DaHanG isn't the healthiest, but he has all the weaponry he needs. Chain will want to work his way over towards the rail side of the map. And in the meantime, DaHanG will try and keep the pressure on as he's over in the LG. Hears him, but can't locate him. Oh, what a rail though!
Ooh, when he gets another one, DaHanG ties that up. Needs to be careful off the spawn. Chain cannot take any damage. Again, as you mentioned, with a light, you take one rail and it's just over right off the spawn. It's Dunsky. slowly now looking for these angles, just switching off the rail at inopportune time. That could have been a nice little free 90 damage there. But all in all, 3 minutes in, tied at 1. Nice and slow for this one. Considering the mobility of the champs, pretty surprising, but one frag gets just snowball so quickly. Big LG from cha1n there as DaHanG trying to aggress 17 HP, barely gets that frag, and that just all comes down to stack.
It does, but it's a nice push by cha1n. He didn't get the frag, but look at the damage he's done. He knows he can go aggressive onto DaHanG here, use the grapple to get over and above. DaHanG is doing a nice job to restack and also work his way over to the Mega. He knows he can push here, but cha1n hasn't got anything to work with, and he pushes perfectly in time for that Mega. And this is the challenge of the Athena now. It's like, you need to get these lights to get back on the board, and DaHanG took away one of the key ingredients, and cha1n had to take that fight without any stack.
Ooh, good defensive rail there as DaHanG was trying to get cheeky with that nail jump to rail. cha1n puts an end to that quickly. DaHanG having to reroute now through the T-Con. Mega's not going to be up for another 9 seconds, but is he going to take the jump pad? cha1n's actually going to hook over to the T-Con, jump back over with a little bit of LG. There's the jump pad play, and cha1n just pushes DaHanG up against the wall. Great rail from DaHanG though.
For all the great work cha1n is doing, DaHanG is responding in kind, and that's critical, and it's exactly why cha1n hasn't get any momentum in this game so far. Goes up super aggressive though,
wow.
DaHanG hits the rail and the punch! No! No! Whoa! No!
We saw it, Dan. The fisticuffs. It was brutal, but DaHanG made it work. 4-1 as cha1n up close and personal. Bruised and battered right now is... What a play from cha1n! What a rail! 4-2 now. cha1n looking to add it on. Another one. Then there goes DaHanG. Rocket jumping out of there. cha1n very weak, railable right now. DaHanG looking pretty strong. Mega's not going to be for another 10 seconds, so he's just going to try and find some of this damage, maybe add another frag on. But cha1n keeping it close, all things considered, not too bad. Item control about even between both players right now.
It is, but I think the big point for me that I've noticed is that DaHanG is doing such a great job of not taking any damage between these major items, and that cha1n then is forced to take almost all in engagements over in the heavy or the Mega, just because he hasn't done any damage to DaHanG and needs to commit for them. So there we go, there's a first opening rail, which means DaHanG won't now be able to commit for the Mega. That's what cha1n needs to do more of if he's going to be winning this game.
Good rail again from cha1n. Mega is up. DaHanG a little hesitant, but he hears the jump pad, knows it's safe. He's going to be able to swipe that one and make his way back to the heavy. Also denying the lower armor shard. Can he get the position on this, or is cha1n just going to bully his way onto it? LG, DaHanG needs to be very careful not to get floated here. Instead, just opts to get out, but the rail from cha1n, really nice shot there.
And the rail looks like it's starting to heat up now. This cha1n's momentum is building. He's got a good stack to work with here, so DaHanG will be on the retreat. We'll play a bit more defensively, and this should be a free Mega pickup as well. cha1n knows exactly what's up and where his opponent will be, because the next item is the heavy. Question is, can he catch him?
Big rockets here into LG. cha1n. Can he make this happen? The vertical rail and the punches. Wow.
The story of cha1n's life, this map. Some really great plays, but DaHanG responding punch for punch, blow for blow.
Wow. Oh, please. These rockets are so good, and then the tickle with the LG takes him down, and cha1n just has to be so upset. Amazing spawn, though. Able to steal away the Mega. DaHanG will go down, so very fortunate for cha1n after that series of events.
Really fortunate, but also greedy. I think it's one of those things where it's some chance of happening, but it could happen. So DaHanG, he just wanted to maximize the efficiency of the accountant that he is, and it cost him at least 2 frags now. If cha1n can get across and get any sort of health, he might be able to push him for another.
I don't think he's going to be able to get back to the Mega, so DaHanG stabilizing there. But cha1n keeping it close, 1 frag, little over 2 minutes remaining. Does he have what he needs to try and tie this up? That first rail missing is going to be crucial here. Repositions, good LG. The rocket pop, not too bad. DaHanG caught in a bad way here. Eats another one up against the wall, and the conversion from cha1n with the rail. 5-5, Dan.
Really nice. Again, relatively clean. And here we go. Momentum's in cha1n's corner. DaHanG's caught here. Only the Tribot. The Berserk comes out. One punch. cha1n has to get away. Super low. The Meg is up to restack there. But DaHanG's flying on through. cha1n hits one round. DaHanG is now very low.
Oh my goodness.
What is going on?
They're just playing Insta-Gib, Dan.
Now cha1n can push on through for what will be a game-defining frag. Stacks there. DaHanG's got nothing to work with. Might just wait out for the Mega. DaHanG has to do something here, but no, the grapple comes out.
Wow.
DaHanG wants to get away, but gets bounced. And now he's really on the ropes.
That fadeaway rail from DaHanG was great, but he's still 24 HP, no armor. cha1n looking to get this frag. Here's the jump pad. He needs to make the right choice. DaHanG still railable, finally getting out of there, but the rail will miss from cha1n. 99 HP, wants that armor shard so bad, and he's just shot his last rail. Luckily for him, there is an ammo box there for more slugs. A minute 15, we're tied at 5 still, Dan.
And this is where Athena comes into full force. You see the tempo cha1n's playing at since the rails begun to connect. Confidence is surging, but DaHanG is beginning to stabilize. The stack is there, picks up another clean item, back-to-back rails as well. cha1n looking really low himself. He might have pushed too far here. He's gone down below. That's greedy. DaHanG missing. He's so low, 16 HP. Jeez, that was some greedy play by cha1n, and DaHanG doesn't punish to the fullest extent though.
Does have timing on the heavy. He's gonna make his way towards T-Con from the jump pad. Good rail from cha1n. Unfortunately for DaHanG, that buckshot previously was not enough. The tribal, a little bit of a tickle. cha1n with a good rail. As DaHanG a little bit early on the Mega. He's gonna risk it and go for the armor shard. Doubling back for the Mega. Wow. And
No!
cha1n takes down cha1n. No!
Was that a mistiming? Why are you going through the... Don't go through a choke point as Athena with no stack.
Why?
And is that it? Is it done? It's done.
I don't know how I feel.
I mean, yeah, like
That's one way to end it,
pretty
Dan.
much.
DaHanG able to survive and scrape away with that one, but cha1n with a very odd play. The timing was a little bit off. He went full force around to try and maybe do damage on the Mega, maybe steal it. I don't know, but he ran into a brick wall and took himself out, unfortunately. So DaHanG able to take Awoken, but that was a very, very close game between these two.
I mean, yeah, that was blow for blow every single stride of the game. Incredible play all round, particularly by cha1n for the last kind of few minutes there. Some bizarre frags like that from DaHanG, but you saw how scary cha1n became on the Athena as he started connecting with its rails. DaHanG was on the ropes, but stabilization from DaHanG. Then he began to connect once again, and then this frag to win it for DaHanG. Not entirely sure why cha1n was going through, as you say, could have been mistiming, could be whatever it was, but it was unfortunately the defining frag.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to send it. I'm just wondering if that was really the time to send it, but it was close. 5-4, cha1n showing everybody that he's, still here. It's still cha1n. He just couldn't put one over on DaHanG to take map number 2. So DaHanG will take the set 2-0, and now it's a matter of will cha1n be able to put up a map. I think based on the performance previously, it's definitely possible, but we're changing pace a little bit, as you mentioned. It's going to be Anarchy versus Galena on Ruins. You give the advantage to cha1n just a little bit based on the movement and the speed, and if he can get that overstack going, we'll see if he has what it takes to take this map off of DaHanG and make it at least a 2-1. But yeah, heartbreaking way to end it for cha1n on that one. That was just such a close map, and as a spectator, you'll love to see it, but unfortunately for cha1n, that one's going to sting a little bit.
Yeah, I think we were blessed to watch that map out. Was two of these players on full form. That was the cha1n of old and the DaHanG of old. So both connecting with everything. Perfect strategy from both players. I just hope it continues into map 3.
Quick peek at the predictions. 87% in favor of DaHanG. We'll see. We'll see. It all comes down to this map number 3 in this set between DaHanG and cha1n. We're live on Ruins, Dan. Can cha1n put a map on the board? We'll find out in about 10 minutes as we're starting off with DaHanG. He's got Galena, he's got the Heavy, he's got the Rail, and a little bit of LG as well. Keeping that totem, at least for the time being. Doesn't want to start the economy quite yet. Big rocket there. DaHanG getting caught out a little bit. And then again, the speed, he's there again. Finally using the totem to heal back up as cha1n puts out some good starting damage.
Yeah, nice by cha1n, and this is what we talked about. Using the speed of Anarchy to continually reposition, catch the Galena off guard. Her biggest weakness is the lack of mobility, so you have to be using that to your advantage as much as possible, and that's exactly what cha1n has done to take an early lead.
cha1n up 1-0, as you said. The speed is huge and the rail is huge. What a rail there from cha1n.
Huge rail. That opens up the door to keep the pressure on now. He knows that DaHanG is weak. He's got only a light armor to his name, so it'd be definitely a free heavy. The question is, can he make it count beyond that? Maybe going a little bit too passive here, giving DaHanG latitude of the whole map. That he could have gone aggressive because he knew exactly what DaHanG needed. It was that light armor, but gave it up for free, and now DaHanG will be able to contest and win the Mega.
That would have been such a pretty rail. The rockets from DaHanG, not too bad. Popping cha1n off the Humpty Dumpty ledge there. Inject is available for cha1n. Can he close in? Decent rocket with that rail from DaHanG. And another one as he chases. Wants another one, cha1n. Good reply on that one. Does use the inject. So Heavy will go to DaHanG. Whether or not he can make it back to the Mega, yet to be seen. I don't think so. cha1n with the cutoff. Good read. There's a good rocket as well.
Trying to keep the pressure on. He knows how stacked he is. Hasn't got the inject though, so has to be a little bit careful. But cutting off DaHanG just take away the light. Caught him down below as well. Big lightning gun. He's taken 0 damage in that engagement. Literally 0. Painful.
Beautiful play though from cha1n. Good catch, good dodging. DaHanG does have his overstack going. But another great rail from cha1n there. Another good one. Oh, when he hit him with the gauntlet, a little bit of a boop, but cha1n doesn't care. He gets the frag 3-0 and inject again. DaHanG needs to be careful. Again, overstack is available, and down goes a totem finally. But cha1n looking very, very strong on runes right now.
Definitely. Love it when he plays this quick tempo, putting on the aggression. Want to see more of that. But there we go. There's 3 for 3 from DaHanG, and that's one way to get back into the game.
DaHanG's going to be the one to catch out cha1n. The shotgun. Good movement there to get out of sight and not take another rail. Totem up shortly for DaHanG. That's going to be another overstack totem as well. So there's the overstack, there's the Heavy, and just like that, DaHanG looks very, very scary, just getting over that ledge for the rocket jump. So full map control for DaHanG off the back of that frag.
Down goes the Fortress of Totems as well as DaHanG loses 2, so has to restart, but got the full benefits so far. One still hiding in that room as well. Plenty of time between the items now for DaHanG to sweep up both. Wants to put the pressure on and then fall back onto them, no, but cha1n has got away, so DaHanG has to retreat before losing this. cha1n nearly jumps into a full rocket, luckily just backs out in time, but DaHanG is now up on... cha1n is not going to contest for the Mega. So on the ropes now, but has the inject, so just going to keep running, wants to hit an early rail, which he does. Nice play by cha1n.
Good rail indeed. DaHanG forced to the outer courtyard. He will take that armor shard. And again, makes his way down to the Heavy to defend this next one. And cha1n just lining up these rails, hitting him with the pick and roll. But he does eat some totem damage going through the telly there.
And cha1n is at his best when opponents are chasing the map, because that allows him to do exactly what he's doing here. Read a map, read his opponents, pick up these creative rail angles and back off. He does struggle, I find, if he's chasing games. So DaHanG has to be wary and be creative to close the gap. Exactly what he's doing here, but again, big rockets from cha1n. And another easy frag. Easy, I say that. Close, but still.
Close to death, yeah. cha1n hanging by a thread, but well won. 4-1. And cha1n with a rocket jump, I believe, it looked like. I don't know what happened there. 25 HP in the rail. Wow, the Mega pickup saved his life, Dan.
Yeah, this is now close. He's got no inject, no armor. DaHanG's taking away the whole map here. How do you stay alive for cha1n in this situation?
playing extremely carefully, as he should. DaHanG on the hunt. Here's the jump pad, but says, you know what? I'm going to take the item first because I got perfect timing. Mega's going to be next. Can he get there in time? Okay, and his cha1n doesn't really want to be anywhere to be found. Still up 3. This could be it.
Found all the totems, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. DaHanG is fully stacked. Get a nice trade of rails there, and cha1n hitting the clutchest of rails. He's down below, plenty of time to go pull the heavy. Don't think he knows the right timing. As he's sticking around, he's just hoping it spawns, and it's not going to, my friend. Not for one, but still gets it, and the trade. Get out of here.
That is just gotta be frustrating for DaHanG. He had him dead to rights, and cha1n somehow just hits the most beautiful rocket. Good damage here as well, as DaHanG does get the Mega, but you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it. But the machine gun prevails and now puts him within 2. And cha1n needs to be really careful not to let this slip away.
No, momentum's definitely in DaHanG's corner now. cha1n clutching at straws here. He's in position for the Mega, though. We'll be able to defend it as he's got the timing, but a big rocket from DaHanG. He knows how weak he is. The question is, how does he catch him? He's going to go cut him off at the jump pad. cha1n doesn't go up, luckily. Has to forfeit the Mega, though, for sure. And burns the inject just to stay alive.
Ooh, another great rail there from cha1n. He's finding really, really nice angles to keep the damage high. 7 seconds till the heavy. DaHanG opting for the armor shard, grabbing what he can, maybe setting up for an exit rail here, and just missing out, and cha1n able to get that one. So DaHanG paying the price, yeah.
He hits that every time. But no, he's gone up, taken so much damage here. He's taken the heavy, though, so he can't afford to eat it. He's going to go into a totem. Oh, no, he just gets away with 1. Wow. Every one of these fights could have gone either way, but cha1n just doing enough to stay in the game, and it's all because of these rails he's hitting in advance. The 2 rails there, crucial. Absolutely crucial.
Absolutely insane how he's staying alive. 3 minutes. It's going to feel like an eternity as he's up 3. Very close to taking this map. And at least getting 1 in the bag. LG on LG. DaHanG. Decent damage here. There's the chase. Another fadeaway rail from cha1n, and now he has the inject as well. Instead, creating some space and using a health bubble instead of using the inject to keep that just for extreme emergencies. But Dan, he's looking pretty good, hitting the rails he needs. Percentage isn't that high at 41, but he's hitting the good defensive rails. He's hitting the opening rails to keep that stack low on DaHanG, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and the thing is that they're all crucial rails in their own right, but they're not make or break rails, where if he misses it, he's dead. They're all in these very safe, creative positions, and that's what cha1n is so good at, is finding these ways to catch even someone like DaHanG off guard so consistently. But there's going to come a time that if he doesn't connect with 1 or 2 of these, DaHanG will be able to push a lot more freer than he is.
Good rocket and the totem. Good rocket jump to get out of there, and the Mega is waiting, so unfortunate for DaHanG. After all of that damage, cha1n is still able to have a decent stack, but now, I mean, time is going to be a big problem here. Is cha1n trying to thread the needle with a little bit of a rocket, but it's okay. Still lining up these rails, and now he's just eating time, Dan.
He is indeed. A minute and a half to go is looking pretty thin for DaHanG's chances, but it is possible to convert relatively easy on this map for 1. We're talking 3 frags here, and with the items on exactly the same time, cha1n just have to use the audio cues, and he will always be getting a free item. DaHanG busting through the doorway with a big rail, but again, cha1n's away. He's heard the direction of DaHanG. He backs on. He's got the inject if he needs it. He doesn't even need it at this point in time. He's holding on to it. DaHanG's only got a minute to go.
DaHanG plants him. Good rails from DaHanG. Does he have anything left in the tank? 50 seconds to get 2 frags. Well, cha1n has the mobility, but there's a big rocket. DaHanG should be able to get this good up close rail, but DaHanG melts him with the LG. 1 frag left before we have a tie ball game. And Dan, is it all crumbling for cha1n? He was hanging on for dear life, but now it looks a little more dire.
It is precarious. Has only got a rail to work with. He's just playing in the back channels at this point in time. DaHanG running the map. 30 seconds though. Can he find his opponent? cha1n is down in the stairwell. Perfect defensive positioning because he's got 2 get out clauses. DaHanG's going to back on. cha1n going up to the high ground. can't wait around for this heavy. He has to go aggressive, and he has to go now. cha1n's already on the other side of the map. The rocket jump comes up. cha1n herds it, goes down towards the TP. Just going to wait there. Backs on through, and that will win him the game. There's no way DaHanG gets this frag now. So there is going to be a 2-1 to DaHanG. Incredibly close games 2 and 3. cha1n restores some sort of balance to the series after obviously a very disappointing opening to the set, but nevertheless, really damn close.
Yeah, really, really well played from cha1n. And what did we learn today? If there was ever any question, cha1n likes to play with tempo. He likes to be in control when he has the speed of the champions. You can see that he opens up his game and he feels more free and more, you know, it seems like more confident in his plays. So it was only a 2-1, but map number 2 was so incredibly close that it could have been a 2-1 easily for cha1n. So I think it was really well done. The start on Exile, absolutely horrific and heartbreaking, but a fantastic set between these two.
Absolutely fantastic. And again, many happy people in chat winning plenty of points, not putting the faith in the cha1n. But this is again the story of cha1n ever since that performance, is that he's definitely in a position to consistently take these maps off the very best players, but it's always a close fought affair that relies on a few moments of magic, making sure that cha1n has to hit these crucial rails. Again, if he can move away and become less reliant on playing in that fashion, that's when it becomes really scary. But credit to him to pull that out. DaHanG was playing top quality Quake as well, and hitting more than he usually would in all circumstances. So it was a great set.
Really, really solid set as we take a look at the stats from Ruins of Sarnath. Again, cha1n taking that map 6-5, but DaHanG is the winner of the series 2-1. But another fantastic series. And cha1n, you know, showing us that he still has it. He still has it, and I really feel that he does like to play with tempo and play on those fast champs. And once he gets the momentum in his favor, opens up his game, he can play exactly how he wants to. And that's kind of where he likes to be. And maybe not so reactionary, but setting the pace and the tone of the game. But DaHanG is DaHanG, and he took it 2-1. And again, that Exile start is just gonna haunt cha1n's nightmares, maybe.
Yeah, that was brutal. But credit to him to reset and get back into the series, you know. Could well have been that he was frustrated and that came through in his play, but it definitely didn't. So, as you rightly said, lovely Athena play, lovely Aniki play, and he looks a completely different player when you give him that sort of speed and tempo where he can create these unique rail angles and skirt around his opponent. Small error, cost him Awoken, could have been a 2-1 cha1n on another day.
Totally agree. We are going to take a quick break and come back. And how do you feel about going over to the EU side? We got a little bit of CNZ versus Wenger, but first a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We got more Quake action coming right up after this.